Hey, this is Fix It John. Today we'll be working on an 05 Honda Odyssey. You've seen this vehicle before. It's got like 190,000 miles on it. And the fuel pump works, but the fuel pressure regulator is not working. So does your car do this when you try to start it? It should start right up. That's because the fuel pressure regulator is not working. The pressure is bleeding back into the tank. I'll show you how to check that in just a minute. So if you have that no start issue immediately, a lot of times it's the fuel pressure regulator. So what you want to do is put your key in and turn it on for 2 seconds. And that way the pump has time to build pressure in the line. 1, 2. And it usually starts and runs fine. So after it sits for a while, it'll bleed pressure off. And this one, I tested it, it doesn't sit that long. The pressure will bleed right off. Your fuel pressure should be between 55 and 62 PSI on this Honda Odyssey. All right, first thing you want to do before you get into the fuel pump is release the pressure, and I'll show you how to do that. What you do is you get under here. I like to start the engine and then pull. That way I know all the pressure has ran out of the lines. So I'll start the engine, and I'm going to pull the fuel relay. Here's the fuel relay. The engine should stop. It's a little blue relay. And I'll start it, try to start it again to make sure all the pressure's off the line. Okay, this is under the driver's side kick panel. That first empty spot you see right there, that is where the fuel relay goes. And then your fuel right here. Fourth one from the end in the center. That is your fuel pump fuse. So we know we're not getting any electricity back there to the fuel pump. You don't want to have any electricity going back to the fuel pump while you're messing with that thing. Spark can cause it to blow up. Before we start work, I'm going to take this negative battery terminal off. That way, definitely not getting any juice to the car. And what I like to do to make sure it's not going to ground out on anything is take this post and wrap it up. Stick it somewhere where it's not going to bang against other metal. Alright, I want to show you what I got here. This is just a cheap fuel pressure kit. And this is what I tested the pressure regulator with. It's nice to have. It's not too pricey. But a lot of vehicles, Honda does not have a Schrader valve. So with the Schrader valve, to check the pressure, all you do is screw a tab like this or a smaller one onto the end of a Schrader valve. It's like a tire valve, something like that. And you would screw it onto the end of the fuel rail. This Honda doesn't have that, so I had to make my own little deal here. I had to, and you can buy better ones, but you know, why buy better ones when you can make your own? So where I tapped into the line was right here. This is the fuel line coming from the fuel tank, and then it comes back around right here. This hose right here comes back around and into the engine and the fuel line. So what I did was I took this off, this connector off, and I disconnected this hose, this fuel line, and I tapped my pressure gauge on it. Okay, now with the Honda, they recommend 55 to 62 pounds of PSI, which I had. With the key off, it's supposed to hold 55 to 62 pounds of PSI, which it didn't. So that told me the pressure regulator on that end at the tank was bad. So instead of just changing the pressure regulator, it has 190,000. Go ahead and replace the fuel module. This is the fuel pump I purchased from Rock Auto. It's made in China, not happy about that, but Spectra, I haven't had a problem with Spectra products. And the price is right too. I mean, I wrote it down for you guys to see. The price out the door shipped was 155 bucks. Honda online price was $347.90 plus $16 to ship it. Yeah, probably a better fuel pump, the Honda pump, but being that we're going to be getting rid of this car here in a year or so, I went with the cheaper model. And this is what it looks like. This right here, guys, this is the fuel pressure regulator in here. Yeah, I could have popped that out and put a new one in, but the pump's got 190,000 on it too. Plus the pump is working overtime. It's really working double time because the regulator's not working and the pump has to make up for that. So what you get with this is you get the rubber seal. You get the gauge. It all comes self-contained here. And you get a new lid, a new cap. So we may use that. Now you can buy a $300 new tool for it, but we're gonna use what we have. All right, let's get to work. All right, we need to take these two seats out to access the fuel pump. The fuel pump is just under the carpet there. So we'll take this lever here, lift it up, and fold it down. Now there's another lever up under here, same passenger side seat, right here. You pull this, and while you're holding it, first you want to make sure the seat's back. You pull this lever, and while holding it, you tip the whole seat forward from the back, and it comes right out. Bam, just like that. All right, what you want to do here is remove some of this loose carpeting. Just throw it to the back. Unscrewing these brackets here, covering. Make sure your screws are all the same size. This just pulls up through this mounting bracket. Hey, let's remove all this stuff. Should be right here somewhere. Let's see. And there it is. By the way, moms, if you're watching, great place to hide video devices from your children. Da, 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 da. And this is what we'll be going after first. And they're not on there real tight. Looks like we'll have to be pry that out. Alright, we're going to vacuum around this pump here. Make sure no dirt flies in the tank. Maybe I can do it with my finger. Yeah. And then that just comes right out. May need to reuse this tab, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off here. I didn't see one with the other one. There. And this should just squeeze and pull up. Voila. Let's see if we can fold that up under here and get it out of the way. Fold that up under there and get that out of the way. Uh-oh, a little fuel leakage there. Okay. And you're going to have a little fuel leakage. I got as much out of the line as I could. And she's got 3/4 of a tank here too. So now they sell a special tool for this, but I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way and make something up. Alright guys, what I'm going to use here is just a hunk of wood. I guess you could use a hammer and a screwdriver or something, but we'll see if I can just knock it off of this. Hitting these little lips here. Yeah, there's moving. I'm sure you could buy a $300 tool to get this off, but if you were going to reuse this cap, that's probably what I'd do, is use a hunk of wood, but since it's loose, go ahead and use this here. It's loose. Okay. There's the lid. And I'm going to throw some rags down here so when I do drip the gas, it won't be all over. Pretty nice rags. I got me a bucket to put it into. Let's see if I can maneuver that baby out of there. Soak up any gas. She is. A full tank of gas. There it comes. It does look like a better pump. Alright, there's the tank. Now let's see if we can get this bad boy back in here. Now there's a TSB about being on the fuel line. You want to go under there's a fuel line in there. Push it down. There. Do a little spin to make sure it's seated. The filter is seated good, or the gasket is seated good. Well, I'll get this out of here so I can. Da-da-da. Let's make sure we're threading good. There we go. She's threading on there. Beautiful. Pretty simple job, really. I mean, it should start up right away now. Being very careful with this piece of wood here. Not to hit the body of the, probably could use a narrower. And that's a poor man's tool right there. That's very nice. We'll know here in a minute how she works. I'll put this keeper in here. Yeah, I'm glad I saved that. And it'll snap. Watch it snap. There. Hear it snap. She's on there. Take this plug here. Plug that in. And voila. Now I'll hook the relay and the battery back up, and we'll see if it runs. Well, it ran before, but it had slow start, so. Okay, I'm putting the fuse back in and the fuel pump relay. Put the negative battery cable back on it. All right, let's see if she starts. Key in, turn on for couple seconds. You hear that fuel pump run? Get it pressurized and we'll see how it does. Alright, turn the key off, take it out, put it in and start it up. Got good throttle response, and I don't see any leaks. That's a good thing. And the putting it back on, putting it all together is just reverse procedure, so I won't film any of that. So remember, this is Fix It John. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and plan on making some more of them. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.